What's going on?
Episode 2, Gerry McBride.
Of season 4, Tom. They said it would never happen. They said it should never happen. But here we are, regardless.
Yeah, welcome everybody to the Tom and Gerry Show. Yes, we have not been shut down by the people at Warner Brothers. We are still on the go, people. It's still happening, still live. We bent the fucking matrix and changed the J to a G because Tom and Gerry are still fucking here.
Contravening sense and reason, we are still on the air, Tom. You know what it is, Tom? There's the amount of people that like our kind of thing really like it. There may not be like huge amounts of them, but what they are, they fucking love it.
Yeah, but this is it. That's who we're after, Gerry. We're not beige. We're not beige Michael McIntyre comedy. We're not going to start joking about how funny it is that a child burps. No, our stuff.
You're fucking cutting me deep there, Tom. I got like 10, 15 killer minutes of child burp material, pal. Oy.
Oh, sheesh. Cut point at...
That's an edit there. Tom and Gerry Show, folks.
If you're new and you've jumped in to episode 2, what's wrong with you? You absolute lunatic. How have you not been with us since the very beginning? But either way, you are very welcome. But have a look back. There's an episode just before this of season 4. And there's not just that. There's 3 other shagging seasons with a couple of Christmas specials. One, I believe we watched a Die Hard where Gerry got mildly drunk. Which was one of my favourite episodes of all time, by the way.
Yeah, tell you how fucking long ago that episode, Tom, was. We watched it in the cinema. We watched it on tape.
Our parents brought us.
Yeah, it was taped off Network 2. Well, we had a hiatus, but we're back with a bang, Tom, don't you know? Here from the, not from the mobile podcasting studio, that is parked up for the time being. We are just broadcasting from our homes. I don't know this season, Tom, that we're going to get an opportunity to broadcast from a train station, but you just never fucking know, don't you?
You never know, Gerry. You never know if we all get things back on track. But sure, look, these episodes are evergreen. Who knows? Right now, as people are listening to this in some time capsule somewhere down the line, they'll go, what year are they talking about? We're not even telling you what year this is, because just like a good song.
And and also, Tom, the whole broadcasting from a train station thing across the other episodes, you know, not all traditions you have to keep. Some of them are foisted upon you, and you try and make them like, well, that's a fun thing we do. I fucking hated broadcasting from train stations. It was just the handiest place to meet you, you know. Well, look, some of those places were kips, Tom.
Some of the places were absolute. In fact, majority of them were absolute kips. But look, doesn't that strengthen characters? Isn't that what they say about like the bands that made it the toughest? Like Johnny Cash was selling old hairdryers to women on the doorstep before he walked into Sun Records that day. You know, sometimes our moment could be just right around the corner, Gerry.
I like to think, Tom, we shone through regardless.
As we gave out about our surroundings. Everywhere we pulled up, we fucking gave out about our surroundings.
Well, Tom, that's what we do here at the Tom and Gerry podcast show, and you're all very welcome along. I'm Gerry McBride, that's Tom O'Mahony. We still haven't learned to properly introduce ourselves without 5 minutes of ramble at the start of a podcast, but you know what? This is the train, folks. You're either on it or not.
And that's what, listen, we're not, this is the beauty. We are fucking revolutionaries. I don't give a shit what you say, Gerry. We're revolutionaries because that's what podcasting is all about. Yes, we can do all the housework up the top. This isn't radio. This is 2 dudes talking back and forth. Kind of just like you nosied up and you're ordering a drink at the bar and you listen to 2 fellas giving out and talking shite. Well, this is a moment where they don't hunt you away and you get to listen in.
You know what, Tom? It's very funny you should say that, because we're going to move actually swiftly into the first segment of our show before we give a... You know, I always struggle anytime I sit down to talk with you, Tom, if I have a subject in mind that I'm going to bring up, like in the 3rd segment of the show. Normally in our little ramble at the start, we just like stray into it anyway. And I'm like, oh shit, Tom's about to start talking about the thing that I'm about to start talking about anyway. So we better move into that segment, so make it a part of it.
Absolutely. Look, we've been crabby since day dot, and this is one that has never left, and it's always there, and it has to be ever ready to go.
Evergreen segment of the show that we call, Tom,
Give It Out Yards.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
Giving out yards, folks. You're very welcome along. I'm gonna take this segment, Tom, because it's been we had that hiatus, and you did giving out yards last last week. So do you believe me, Tom, that it's 4 years and a week since I gave out about anything?
Date-wise, is it?
No, it's fucking not. I give out shit all the time.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I thought, is this... See a Buddhist
you
or
think I was
something?
fucking sitting around on the side of a mountaintop just banging a gong once
I
every
knew things
18
were going
hours to
good for
say
you,
calm?
McBride. I didn't think they were going that fucking good for you. I'm like, this
I
guy
know,
hasn't
I
complained
gave
about it. What's wrong with
I
him?
fucking complain all the time, but the difference was, Tom, I didn't have anybody to listen to me.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nobody that would fucking...
Well, the
indulge me in
millions
my
of fans and listeners are listening right now, Gerry, so it better be juicy.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm coming out swinging, folks. I'm going to give out yards about something that was once dear to me and is probably dear to a whole pile of you. And don't get me wrong, it's not like it was once dear to me. I still love it very much, but every now and then you just got to fucking give out yards a little bit, Tom. I'm going to give out yards about the drink.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Gerry, don't you do it.
I'm going to give out about the drink.
No, don't you do it.
You know what? You know what? I fucking love the drink, Tom, but every now and then, no matter what it is, even with the young fella, like, you know, if you love your child or anything like that, every now and then you have to sit him down and put a bit of manners on him.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah. Because
You know?
you'd be guaranteed, like, your own father. There was moments where he crossed his mind and went, oh, that little fucker now, what's he at over there? What the... Because at the same time, you have to be honest with yourself.
You have to.
Is that what you're telling me?
You could say to the child and go, look, I could let you run riot and do whatever you want, but it's to both our advantage if we just have a word.
Yeah.
And that's where I am now with the drink, Tom. Tom, why has drink got so fucking complicated?
Tell me.
Tom, now, do you know what it is I'm going to tell you, right? Anytime I'm giving out yards about something, it's always about something that I really, really like, that just has, you know, something's gone wrong. You might remember I gave out about computer games that I love very much, but somewhere along the way, someone decided that things weren't working and weren't making enough money, and it spun around. And I find that with the drink. I remember for the longest fucking time, Tom, there was, at best, 5 drinks.
Yeah.
And I'm including red and white wine there, so
and rosé.
You know what I mean, right? And what it feels like to me is that, you know, there was wine connoisseuring, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Oh Lord,
Where you know, you were very specific about your wine, and it wasn't just red and white. It wasn't just fucking Blue Nun and Black Tower. You know, you had various different wines, and you could taste the difference of them, and your tastes would lean certain ways and other ways. And someone looked at all that and said, "Hey, let's do that for beer."
Yeah.
And like, I'm not being an owl fart going like, "Whoa, what's with all these craft beers these days?" But Tom, fuck me, what's with all the craft beer these days?
I will say, and I
enjoy a craft beer, Tom.
I won't come up again you too hard because you are a good man when it comes to an argument. I want to hear it. But there are one or two of the craft beers that are fucking very reasonably priced, and and they come with petrol level fucking strength. And there's a thing I don't have much of in time is time anymore, Gerry. So getting drunk quickly.
Well, you see, you know, we come at these different ways, Tom. Like I'm like you. If I went out drinking, and look, Tom, we're not going to get into this country's problem with drink.
Oh, no, we're not here to solve that.
We're not here to solve that, okay? But if I went out drinking of a Saturday night, like, drinking I went out to do, Tom, do you know what I mean?
Well,
It wasn't to sip, Tom.
I'm going to pull your tail a small bit there, Gerry. Now, we weren't on the rip, but we did have a drink or two one evening. Now, I can remember specifically. Now, we were into kind of a pub that did have a comedy club upstairs, but it was crafty. And you ordered a Troubles Brewing. And I went,
Troubles Brewing.
What the fuck is that, McBride? Yeah. And you went, that's a new one. It's strong like. And
yes, I remember that well.
Yeah.
I remember that well because I remember your options at the tap, right? Was Guinness, Carlsberg, Heineken, Budweiser, Smithwick's, or Trouble Brewing. It wasn't a fucking bank of shit, right? It wasn't. What you didn't have, Tom, you didn't have me sitting at that bar looking at it going like, nah, they've nothing for me here, Tom. We better go elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I'm not saying like, you know, oh, you can only have things that are set and never have something nice. And if you want a fucking chocolate flavored stout, knock yourself out. You can have a chocolate flavored stout.
Yeah.
But fuck me, Tom. Now it was a very simple thing that got very, very fucking complicated. And I have a horrible feeling. I just have this horrible feeling somewhere deep down inside of me that it only happened so that people could feel smarter than other people.
Oh, for sure. Listen, Gerry, everything has been ruined by anoraks. Everything gets fucking ruined by anoraks. There's no crack left in anything anymore. It's fucking ruined by people that have overcomplicated everything. Sports has been overcomplicated. Cheese has been overcomplicated. I mean, everything has been fucking ruined by anoraks. Now, I don't mind a craft beer option inside the pub or whatever, but like you said, that evening we were there was a whole bank of them and you went, I'm going to have a Troubles Brewing because it's about fucking 19% and I don't have fucking time to drink 5 pints. I get that. And there's times I'm thinking some of these bars have these things. Because I remember I was going to do a gig for the RT Comedy Awards, which I subsequently, I don't know how, got into the fucking final of, but it was absolutely because it was the most worst film thing on the fucking history. I said, I have time. I'm going to have a little drinky poo. And I went into a bar that I didn't know only served craft beer. And your man went, we have a special. I went, oh, fuck. Because all I wanted was a swift pint of Guinness.
Let's be simple here.
He gave me something that was Kentucky ale or something that had been brewed inside whiskey barrels. It was like fucking 19% or something. It was like drinking...
buckle, yeah.
Yeah, 4 fucking pints inside 1 pint. I was absolutely locked because I drank it at the speed. You'd only drink 1 pint. Lethal stuff.
You know what? And when I say I'm giving out about the drinks, I'm not like I said this last episode as well, Tom. This isn't solving yards. This is giving out yards, right? This is just kind of a wee bit of an event. And I will sit down and drink a craft beer. And I know people that make and sell craft beer, and it's delicious and it's lovely, and you absolutely should try it. It's delicious. But there was one time that I went into a bar with a few guys, and I ordered a pint of Heineken, and one of them turned around to me and goes like, "How do you drink that?" That's when I knew we were in fucking trouble, Tom.
Because it's fucking wet. That's how I drink it.
That's how I knew that something had gone seriously fucking wrong here.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean, how do I drink it? I've been drinking this since I was 18 years of age, on paper. Been drinking a lot fucking longer than that, Tom, right? And when I said, like, I knew, like, and when I say I'm not a drinker, I'm not my drinking days was when I was like between 18 and 25 when I was a young lad, and I'd go out every Saturday night and drank. And I haven't drank that regular ever since. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you did your working week and then you went for your pints and then you fucked off home.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Having a couple of bottles around the house is not the same as that, as far as I'm aware. Okay, that was like your drinking thing, and I knew from that 7 years of drinking as a young fella, I knew exactly how much I would drink across that time, and at what point in the night we turn to the shots.
Yeah, of course.
And how many shots I would have.
Yeah.
That would buckle me.
Yeah,
and I would know roughly speaking how I was going to feel in the morning. You just knew.
Yeah.
And now I'm a slightly older person. Now that I've crested 40. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, Tom. I don't know what's going to happen if I have 3 bottles. I really don't.
But what way were you over Christmas?
Like back when I was 20 and 22, I'd be like, 6 pints and 2 shots and then a double on the way out of the nightclub. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. That's good. Because let me see, like, Carlsberg. All right, yeah. And 2 shots. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, we're good. Whereas now I'm like, a witch's toe, and then a pint, and then a fucking pint of tuner button, followed by 2 cans of something else. I don't know fuck what I'm going to be at, you know?
Yeah, now I get you. Now I get what your yards that you were giving out about, because I was still trying to work you out there. I was like, is he just fucking giving out about the names?
Oh no, I'm still giving out about some fucker that will sit down in front of me and drink a grapefruit infused lager and tell me that it's lovely. And I'm like, no, it's fucking not, pal. Let me walk you back there, all right? At no point in my fucking lager drinking days did I ever say, do you know what this would do with a wee bit? Citrus. No, fuck off. I'm not going to pour a fucking thing of cranberry juice into a pint of Guinness and pretend it's nice.
One of the most disgusting. I've been a few times to...
Some of these are fucking rotten, Tom.
I've been a few times to Brussels and the surrounding cities gigging and whatnot, and I've been over there. Herself's brother lives over there, and I remember going over there one time, and it's a fucking like you said, you don't know what you'd be at. Herself wouldn't be much of a drinker, and I remember we went for a drink in a bar. It was like 12 o'clock. We were really going for a lunch. She said, My wife thought it was a good idea to figure I'll have a little beer. I don't often drink them. I'll have a fruity one because clearly it has fruit in it.
If it has fruit in it, it's just practically fucking packed full of vitamins, Tom.
It's clearly part of my 5 a day. I will have one of these. Yeah. I'll be healthy. About halfway down the bottle, she's gone, do you reckon there's toasted sandwiches inside this place? I went, what the fuck is wrong here? I looked at the bottle. It was 17.5%, Gerry. 17.5%.
So that's one end of it, Tom. Is I have a horrible feeling that all these new drinks hit the market and it's fueled by people that want to feel smarter than other people and on occasion superior to other people because
it's the anorex. They all want to feel it. There was a guy on, I don't know which was it, like the Ireland AMs or one of these, these daytime TV shows, and there was a guy, he's a wine and beer expert. Oh my God. If ever, they should have that man turn up at AA meetings because you would never again go back on the fucking drink after a couple of hours to listen to this fella. He made drink so fucking shite. The talk of talking the bollocks off of, like, it is supposed to be a medium between fucking winding your week down, talking some shite, going to bed with a big fucking curry all over your face. That's all not absolute verbal wank all over the place. This guy fucking ruined the drink.
And there's no talking to a boy like that. And I know a few boys like that. And again, the same people that would turn their nose up at me for drinking a pint of Heineken, they turn around to you and tell you, well, I don't drink to get drunk.
Well, now fuck.
And I'm like, well, fucking well done. That's wonderful. Go have a fucking milkshake, right?
That's just scandalous to say such a thing like that. I mean, that is, Tom. I mean, you could use any amount of analogies there. Like, you don't pull your flute. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Here's the thing, Tom. I don't fucking drink to get drunk either, but it happens.
Well, if I swing my hands and fists in a certain direction, I end up punching somebody in the face. I definitely didn't intend. Yeah, I did. I fucking did. Stop lying to yourselves.
I drink and I get drunk, and I tell you, for the most part, Tom, it's nice and it's enjoyable. And as I said before, as the years have gone on, you learn a wee bit more about what is going to put you fucking buck wild and die in the next day and irresponsible and all that kind of thing. And you generally know how to keep manners on yourself. On occasion, you forget. That's the drink for you, But you take personal responsibility for all these things. But I'm not going to be fucking told that my pint of Heineken is stupid, or that I love a bottle of Budweiser from time to time. I'm like, oh, how do you drink Budweiser? I drink Budweiser because it fucking goes down like milk, pal. I gotta tell you, there's not a thing wrong with it. Oh, it's absolute piss. That's not. That's nice. Right? It's not. So it's not. You can't fucking stand there and tell me. And here's the other thing, Tom. So I have a funny feeling that the drink, all this has come along to make people feel more superior than others. And I have another fucking feeling, Tom.
What?
That all this has come along so that people could make a lot more money out of it. And this is where I turn my attention from beer to gin.
Now, here. Yeah, listen.
Now.
Yeah, now. Gin.
Here's my first fucking rude awakening at the price of what happened to gin over the last 5 years, Tom. And that's all it is, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
All right. Like, I'm out here, okay? One night, I'm out, and I don't go out drinking anymore with the quote-unquote lads because I'm up in Dublin and they're down in Monaghan, and you go up once at Christmas and have a couple of pints, and that'll be about it. And the odd time I might have a pint out after a gig with the likes of yourself. The fucking likes of yourself, Tom.
The fucking likes of me.
The fucking likes of you. All right? But this thing of going out and drinking, like, I took a pause from that for a long, long time. And I was doing a gig in the middle of the country, supporting somebody, and I put up on Twitter that I was going out. And this guy, God love him, showed up to see me. Brought his girlfriend, showed up to see me, right?
Yeah.
Paid a ticket to come see me. It's a rare occasion someone does that, Tom. I appreciate it every single time it happens. So I don't draw money, Tom. As the saying goes, I couldn't fucking draw money with green crayons, right? But this fucker left his house to come see me support whoever it was in the middle. And he told me, he goes, I don't like that other famous, more well-known comedian that came to see you. I said, well, like, thank you very much. It's after the gig. He goes, thank you very much. I'm pissing sweaters, because thank you very much. That's real nice. And you know what? You left your house. Let's have a pint. Come on, I'll get you a pint, okay? There are places in town, Tom, where you'll get a pint after your gig, but this was not one of them, and I was going to pay for my pints here, and I didn't mind that because I was so delighted with myself that this guy had left his house, and I said, "What would you like?" And he goes, "I'll buy the 2 easy drink, him and his missus," and they goes, "Oh, geez, you wouldn't mind a gin and tonic?" And I goes, "Gotcha, pint of Heineken for me, Gordon's and Schweppes for you."
Yep.
A Cork Dry and a Schweppes.
Yep.
And then he goes, "Well, hang on a little second. I just want to take a look at their menu."
Huh?
I goes, "No. Oh, well, you said gin though, right? Not wine. I have a fucking blipped you here." And he goes, "Oh no, the gin menu." And I goes, "The gin menu? Okay. Not a thing I knew was a thing, Tom."
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Because I knew there was a cocktail menu, and like I'm a gulping, Tom. Anytime I would ever order a cocktail, I would go through it and see like which cocktail had the most drink in it, and that's
Long Island iced tea all day long.
Right?
Always has the most drink in it. Value for money. It's going to get you fucked up.
You fucking look at it and it's like a screwdriver, and it's like orange and vodka, and I'm like, nah, you're all right. I'm not paying €8 for a fucking half liter Tropicana.
You're fine.
I'm just fucking not. You're grand.
Yeah.
This has whiskey and blah and blah and blah in it. All of that, right? So I was familiar with cocktail menus, but this fucking gin menu was news to me, right? And I was staying over in the place. It was a hotel, so I was having a couple of drinks. So I went over and I said, "So, barkeep, a pint of Heineken," and I get the gin menu for these lads. Well, whatever, okay. And they went through it and they said, we'll have 2, what have you. So I goes, "Okay, barkeep, I'll have a pint of Heineken and we'll have 2 of these guys." And your man goes, "Okay." And I goes, "All right, shout there." And he goes, "That's €38. And I'm like,
oh my sweet suffering Jesus.
and I'm like my brain just instantly went, because I'm fucking stupid, Tom. My brain went, "How much is the Heineken?"
When there's more Heineken than there is of
like
the
that,
other. Yeah.
like that was doing the fucking damage, right?
Yeah.
But no, it was fucking €16 a piece for the gin and tonics, and €6 for the Heineken.
He got his fucking ticket back by the sounds of things.
And I did it gladly, like, you know. But I would have, you know, done it gladly, or if he'd just fucking wanted a pint. And he comes out, and I'd never seen this, Tom. These fucking goblets,
of
gin,
full of ice.
Full of ice, and like, you know, it's the kind of thing where you give someone something that you know, you don't begrudge anything to this. But I'm very like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. I'm like, "Here's your $5 shake." So, what's in that? Well, what's in that I've just paid?
Yeah.
What's in that I've just paid?
I can definitely pick a cunty vibe off of what you on the way. Oh, there you go.
What's in that I just paid €32 for? Like, roughly speaking, how much gin is that? Oh, it's just like a measure of gin. And then a Fever Tree tonic, Tom, which was a thing I'd never heard.
There you
I was like,
go.
oh, what's that? Oh, it's just a tonic. And I'm like, well, fucking riddle me this. How that is 16 fucking euro when a Gordon's and a fucking dash of Schweppes is €4 tops by my thing. And nobody could answer me.
Would you
except
not throw you down the large bottle of Schweppes too? You just pour your own and give it back to the barman then afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it had like fucking crushed peppercorns and like
of course
twigs and shit in it.
They're called botanicals.
Botanicals. I'm just making a mental note to Google all this shit, because I don't know what the fuck has just happened. But upon further investigation into the subject, when I Googled it, when I went back to the hotel room after, because I was still taken with bad temper in it.
Oh, be fucking
it was just like,
that.
Gin is just gin. Like, just the same old gin, nothing different, nothing to it. It's just overnight, Tom. Overnight. Someone looked at it and said, gin and tonic, €8. Hang on a second. Let me just put a 1 at the start of that there.
Yeah.
€18. There we go. That's more like it.
And the presentation is they give it out in a fucking fishbowl. And there you go. All of a sudden, it looks the part. And you put words like fucking botanicals in there and you get people sniffing it. It is the same piss. It's made from junipers. It's the same piss it has always fucking been. Whether it was Gordon's, fucking, I don't know, Beefeater or whoever the staple ones for years. And then all of a sudden, you're getting crowds. You're getting crowds turning up with snazzy bottles and putting pink shit in it. But it's because the marketing is fucking unbelievable. They went after it. The trick, Gerry, is you and I to create our own fucking... What is the next thing? Vodka's been done. Gin's been done. I reckon poachine is the fucking way forward. Made from potatoes, but special Kerpinks. We make pink poachine out of Kerpinks.
People would buy it, Tom.
Fucking right, they'd buy it. And we just put things like botanicals with bits of nettles inside in it, bits of dandelions. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. If we could,
I guarantee you one thing, Tom, and I guarantee you this, right? And I'm not going to. My giving out yards is drawing to a close here, but I want to say this one last fucking twist of the knife, all right? Do you fucking know what I seen after a while? Okay? Do you know what I seen?
Go on.
What you fucking seen in a shop? You can buy this. I seen alcohol-free gin. Now, I will drink an alcohol-free beer, Tom, right? Because I went off the drink for a while, and I'm still quote-unquote off the drink. And it's nice to hold a green bottle in your hand of a cold beer tasting liquid. None of it's as nice as the real thing, don't get me wrong. But that's fine. Well, what in the whole full fuck would you want alcohol-free spirits for? All of the burn, all of the harsh taste, none of the drink. I'm like, no. Have a tin of 7-Up. You know, it'd be...
Yeah.
Something's going fucking wrong here.
You know what? Fair fucks to somebody who sat around a table of marketing people and went, can we make alcohol-free shit? Oh, yeah, but it's cheaper to make, right? Yeah, of course. So we don't put any, yeast or sugar in the fucking thing. We just make it taste like the same piss we sell normally. So it's going to be cheaper. Are we going to sell it at the same price? Fucking right we are.
No. And that's it, Tom. I don't know how anybody could sit through all that and not fucking give out yards. I have no solutions here. I'm not telling you to fucking storm the capital.
Absolutely.
But I'm just gonna say it's like something's gone desperately wrong here for something that was so simple and now all of a sudden is I don't know, Tom. Take it away from me. I don't know.
Very well done. Very well done. That was giving out yards with Jerry McBride. And feel free, especially through our Twitter, the Tom and Jerry Show, if you have some whinges about drink, if you have some examples about drink of some scandalous fucking carry on, because there has to be a spade that's called a spade, bullshit called on some of these fucking things, i.e. botanical stuff. We're fucking Irish people especially. What would we know about anything? Like, tisn't fucking 10 years ago, everybody was drinking just pretty much the same thing. Fucking, and Jerry pointed out.
Yeah, so, I want to know who walked into a bar, looked around and said, nah, there's fucking nothing for me here. And as always, Tom, we're open to be corrected on all this. A lot of you could turn around and go, well, like,
oh no, well, there'll be no.
Don't come at us with some bullshit like, actually there's a lot of breweries that are doing hard work and they're creating jobs and all that.
Hey,
wonderful, delighted for them. More power to them.
More power to them.
Absolutely more power to them. But like some of their customers are fucking arseholes.
Oh yeah. Well, they can only make stuff for the customers. Very, very well done. Great stuff. Well, we have the long.
We're going to move on.
We have the long running segment, and we've resurrected it because there's a time period of 4 years has passed between now and then, and I've racked up some fucking gigs in between that time.
Gigs, Tom? What gigs? Remember this? This could be somebody. This could be somebody's first podcast.
Oh, listen, you're not going to hear me tell you how awesome it was to rock the Opera House down at Cork for 45 minutes. You're never going to hear me.
These are comedy gigs, don't you know? Because myself and Tom, if we don't mention it enough,
if you haven't picked up on it by now, you're going to all the time.
We're stand-up comedians by trade, don't you know?
And this is it. And gigged on the reg, as per society would allow. Like that, there's been some delightful ones. Thankfully, of late, in recent years, the better ones have fucking prevailed more than anything else, and you don't have to take as many as the shitty ones. And sometimes
the shitty ones?
Do you know the shitty ones? The ones that everybody wants to know about, Jerry.
Well, we talk about those in a segment, don't we?
Well, that's it. The segment we have resurrected that we call...
What's that segment called, Tom?
It's called Worst Gig Ever, Jerry.
What do you need us for?
Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
You son of a bitch.
Worst gig ever.
I love your worst gigs, Tom. I really do.
This is the thing. Every so often we talk about that, starting out especially, you take gigs, you take whatever the fuck you can get, and as time moves on, you get smarter, you build a bit more of a reputation, a bit more of a name, you won't get asked to do such shithole gigs, and also if you do, you can sniff a rat and go, you're grand, I've got something else on that night, i.e. I'm stopping in to watch the Late Late, because my nerves and my fucking health doesn't need what you're offering right now.
It was a landmark moment, Tom, the first time I turned down a gig.
Go in. Oh, no doubt.
It really was. I felt incredible.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it wasn't being like big-headed or like, oh no, I'm too big to do that. It was just like, no, that's going to be fucking terrible and I don't want to do it.
Now, this...
Now, before that happened...
And also, Jerry,
before that watershed moment.
But there are also moments when somebody offers you quite a lot of money. Because if I'm nothing, Gerry, I'm a whore for money. I fucking love the stuff. What ties this beautifully, and I had actually forgotten this. I wiped the fucking hard drive on this gig, but it was going back over the old shows. I was listening back over, and I went, "Fuck me!
How did we miss that?
How did I wipe this from the hard drive? How was this not the first one to do a callback? Because I can't remember. I won't tell you now which episode it was, but I mentioned originally doing a gig in this fucking terrible place. And I had deemed it a terrible gig, but the guy that owned the place had deemed my success so fucking paramount over everybody else that was on them that he went, "Man, I'm just after seeing you're after writing your own show, right? You're after writing your own show. You're doing a show. You got a show." I said, "I've got a show. I've got an hour." He went, "Fucking amazing." I said, "Why are you asking me?" Because you see, this gig, to recap for anybody, and I don't know if I explained it properly or people have listened back. But to go back to it, it was in the centre of a highly densely populated part of Dublin. Not the city centre or anything. It's a large part of Dublin. One of these places where there's sprawling estates, but in the very centre of it, they have like now a built town village square, and they plethora of restaurants and whatnot. And every so often, a fellow with a room upstairs that isn't being fucking busy on a Friday night, they'll think, "Do you know what? I'll put music or I'll put comedy up there." And on this one occasion, they decided to put comedy on like a Wednesday night or something. Because, of course, they've got the place. And somebody took it. The lights were terrible. It was an L-shaped room. It was a complete fucking battle. That was the original.
The L-shaped room, Tom, just before you gloss over that, let's just talk to the people about the L-shaped room in comedy. That's when half of your audience are around the corner.
Yeah, so you're playing to two fucking crowds, essentially. So if you're riffing off anything off your right hand, people on your left hand having a breeze.
It's like when you're playing Tetris and you've got like just the right little fucking you've got just like a slot that 4 will go down into, like a straight bar will go down into, and then this fucking L shape comes and you're like, "What am I gonna do with you?
What do I do with you?
What do I do with you?"
Christ. So that's just a recap from, I think, season 3. It would have been season 3. It would have been season 3 recap. This terrible room. It was a fucking nightmare. The host was having a fucking mare with the audience because he was getting a bit angry at him. There was a couple of other people who had died on the whole. I went up, kind of launched a bit of an attack because I got to see what the place was like. I deemed it a terrible gig, enough to be on fucking season 3 of the Tom and Gerry show. When not fucking couple of weeks later, the guy who owns the joint says, "You're so good, I'd like you to come back and do your own show." And I went, "Fucking no." I said, "That was a fucking terrible show." He goes, "What are you talking about, man?" He says, "They're still raving about how good you are." I says, "You fucking joking me?"
They are still raving, yes.
I says, I should be fucking shot, the things I said to those people. He goes, "Nah, they love that shit. They love that shit. Would you come back and do your own show? Do me an hour of your own show." I went, "Yeah, I can fucking do it, man, but it ain't fucking happening." He went, "How about this?" I went, "I'll be there in a week. When do you want me?" So I went, "All right." Okay.
Honestly, Tom, do you know, anybody listening to this probably says, "You know what? You can't put a price on your dignity."
Yeah, you fucking can.
And you and I both can. You and I both have a euro amount.
I can tell you here now, as Ted DiBiase used to say back in the day, because I know you love a wrestling reference. Everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. Just most people haven't fucking found theirs, Gerry. Or been offered theirs. That's what it is. That's all it is. So your dignity is as good as how far you've been fucking offered. Yeah. And this guy said it to me, and he sold me a great thing, like he was going to fucking help me design he was going to do a poster up, the whole lot. This was looking like he was going to sell it well, really legit. I was feeling good about the whole thing, right? And up until that point, I would always go to gigs by myself. Herself would rarely. It's not that she doesn't want to stand around in the back of the fucking room. There's no need in the whole thing, but
yeah, because it's work, Tom.
And exactly, it's not bring your partner to work day, and she doesn't want to be there either because for the most important part to the whole fucking thing, I'm not actually. What the fuck? Yeah. But I said, "Come along, this will be an interesting one. At the very least, it's going to be interesting." She's like, "Great, let's go. I
love interesting things."
It wasn't far from where we were living at the time, so in we go. Everybody's unbelievably polite. Now, there's a lot of bright hair, a lot of brightly, scantily clad people, and that includes the men, a lot of white teeth, some facial augmentation, a lot of sleeve tattoos. Not judgmental, right? I'm totally judgmental, but I'm not judgmental in this because they are so polite. They're all being incredibly polite, being very, very nice to Natasha and everything. They're bringing her over more fucking gin than you can bait out the fucking door. Natasha's practically a teetotaler. She doesn't know what to do. She's like, all right, I'll drink. She's getting fucking sozzled on the fucking back. I figure, you know what, these people, yeah, look, it's relatively, I thought it was going to be open to the public. It really wasn't advertised to the public at all. It was absolutely a private show for some of the fucking most dodgiest gangsters you've ever fucking come across in your entire life. And they gave me a total falsehood because the first couple of people in were very normal people, like in that they weren't even from Dublin, if you know what I mean. They were, hello, we heard about the show. And I went, oh, well, this is, well, but that was where it stopped. 4 people. Now, this is a small room. At tops, it could hold maybe 45, 50 people. Maybe 20 more people come in.
Okay.
Of all. No. The 4 normal people were left in, Gerry. Then the other 20 odd people that were left in after it, they wouldn't have been allowed on the set of fucking Love Hate because they would be too fucking realistic. So I put, who could I have open for me? Because I had to have somebody open for me. I couldn't go on at this fucking thing before. You've helped me out a few times. Tis neither a place for you or for me, Gerry, and I wouldn't have done it yet. So I picked a very local chap. And even he's going, Tom, where the fuck did you land this gig? As they are some of the fucking biggest gangsters in this area. I went, man, I don't fucking know. I don't know. They've already paid me some of the money. I don't know. I'm sitting at the back. But it's not too bad. I'm going, they've all been so lovely, though. They've all come up, very respectful, shaking me hand the whole lot. Natasha's going, these people are fucking lovely, Tom. I thought you said this is going to be mental. I went,
it's not over yet.
It ain't over yet, and I got to do a fucking hour ahead of these people. Now, all of a sudden, I start noticing things. As I'm down the back of the room, going, does everybody in this room, all 20 odd or 24 of these people, do they all have really weak bladders, or have they been drinking a lot? Because, Gerry, they're making an excessive amount of trips to the toilet, all of them. Like 4 toilet breaks an hour at this stage, you know? And I'm going, this is strange. All of a sudden, and as a comedian, you tend to watch for demeanours of crowds. You know, you go, is it a good crowd? Is it a bad crowd? Because you're looking for... I noticed everybody's demeanour started to slightly change. The swagger started to get a bit stronger. Everybody got a little fucking louder. And not alcohol-fueled loudness, if you know what I mean.
Tom, I absolutely know what you mean.
Yeah. A good friend of everybody, Charles, was visiting that evening. And I went, well, there's no other way to... And they're all giving it... absolute socks. And I think I'm wrong on these people. I'm fucking wrong on them. They're going to be lovely. This is going to be great. Oh my fucking God. 3 minutes in, it was going great. I says, they're fucking actual biomaterial here. They're sitting back. But the next thing I started to notice, there was kind of kids in the audience too who were drinking. We're talking 13, 14-year-olds were drinking as well. I hadn't noticed. They snuck in the side door. I hadn't even fucking noticed. So now we've got a fucking gang of got to pick a pocket or two. We got all these fucking Fagans, little children
Fagans kids running around the place.
Who I've then been told are actually some of the best robbers in the area, and they work for these guys. I noticed as the night went on, I made a mistake of going. Now, if you give me a bit of a shit as a heckler, and yes. I immediately, I will slap you down. Immediately. And you will learn your lesson and go, oh, fuck, he's got a microphone. He's just embarrassed me in front of the room for a moment. I will keep quiet. Now, there's certain substances blank out the level of embarrassment that a normal person would feel. And alcohol isn't one of them.
Yes. And these substances, Tom, would also heighten the amount of paranoia and
confidence you would and confidence you would have in your own ability for everything. And if perhaps you were a platinum-haired woman whose heels were fucking actually, you would need a safe pass to climb into the fucking shoes. I made the mistake once or twice of referencing blokes' shirts who had been purchased by women in the fucking audience. And oh my fucking days did I set it off. Oh my fucking God. And I'm watching as they're walking out mid-set, walking out in the eye, their pupils are getting bigger as they're fucking coming back in. I can see Natasha on the back going, holy mother of fucking Jesus. I'm still going. I've forgotten all time at this stage now. I'm just talking to him. I'm just fucking talking. No, but Gerry is working. And they're all whoop, 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 like they are cage side at the fucking 3 Arena and Conor McGregor is fighting, if you know what I mean. That's where we're at. They're roaring and fucking shouting the whole lot. I have to wrap the fucking gig. I said, I'm out of here. They're like, fucking sing us a song, would you, Tom? I'm like, no, I'm not fucking singing. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Here, Tasha, you'll have a fucking another drink. Natasha's down the back with like 6 of these behind her going, I can't fucking drink any more of these things. They keep on giving me gallons. I'm like, all right, listen, can I get paid? And all of a sudden then things get I get a bit fucking, I'm on their turf now.
Right.
I'm on their turf now. I'm like, all of a sudden a very large man who's fucking kind of puffs up another bit and goes, how much was it, yeah? And the guy who dealt with all of this, who had agreed all this, who had promised all this, had fucked cleanly off. Gone. Now,
he doesn't work here today.
I'm watching this guy. He counts it out and he gives me the money and all the rest of it. And he's now, I get the rest of Tasha, yeah? I went, I don't think she'd ever been called Tasha in her life. But
in her whole life.
You're absolutely welcome to. And she's like, that's fine. Let's get the fuck out of here. Next thing, I just step around the corner. Would you mind counting out that last bit there, just to make sure? I don't know if I'm actually going to go back about anything. I know I'm absolutely fucking not going to go back about it because this guy would definitely murder me. But she hands me the, and I counted. Gerry, every fucking note had blood across the fucking edge of it. It was actually blood money. Now, I'm guessing from broken capillaries up noses and not physically from a broken fucking bloody hand.
But who can tell, Tom?
Who can fucking tell? All I know is that I need to get to a doctor and get a fucking test in the morning. Now, we get out into the car. The two of us just look at each other and go, mother of fucking divine Jesus, we made it out of there. Never again. Never again. I talked about this on the fucking podcast. That's why I was fucking bad. Anyway, she says, wait, and I fucking tell you. She goes, did you see the bigger of the two that was in and out the fucking whole time? I says, yeah. Well, at one stage, because I remember him standing up and going, excuse me, Tom. And I went, oh, you're grand. I've got a microphone in my hand. There's technically an audience. And this guy steps up like it's the middle of his fucking sitting room. He goes, one moment, please, Tom. Like he's pressing pause on me and I'm the skybox.
Yeah.
And he takes the call and walks to the back of the fucking room and he shouts into the phone, if you don't fucking kill him. Now, I can't hear any of this. He is keeping it quiet, but Natasha can hear everything. If you don't fucking kill him, I'm coming around and I'm going to fucking blow your fucking head off. Now, get it done and get it done now. Boop, hangs up and walks back up and on. Sorry, Tom, go ahead. What were you saying there? I was like, what the fuck?
I just love like Tom's up on the stage there, like, you know. So the difference between a Massey tractor and a Ford.
I had tailored my shit by that stage, McRae. I had tailored it.
When you're driving your John Deere, you'll be like, and then you're driving your Massey, you're like,
so you know when you're wearing Dunlop wellies, do you? And a nail goes up through the bottom of them. So this is, isn't it? And so we've done all the creepiness, right, or all the craziness and all the rest. We're going, Jesus Christ Almighty! I need a fucking drink after this. Did you bring any of that gin with you? No, I didn't. Fuck me! Oh my Christ! I have a couple of cans of fucking Heineken back in the fridge. Let's get home quickly. Oh my sweet suffering
Tom,
Jesus!
You haven't mentioned what year this gig took place, and I don't suggest you do.
Nope. I still haven't actually mentioned where the fucking gig took place either, Gerry. I can fucking tell you that much. But I would say we're out of
Leitrim by the sounds of things, Tom.
Absolutely, it was Leitrim. There wasn't one moment from like 9:10 till about 11 that I didn't honestly think both myself and my wife maybe killed. But I still managed to knock out an hour of comedy.
And I gotta tell you, Tom, the day's not over yet.
But I did get paid. And Gerry, if it was put to me again, would I think about it? Yeah, I would.
I'll tell you, the price of your fucking scruples goes down when the timing belt goes in the car, Tom. I will say that.
You're damn fucking right. The car needed service and 4 tires. So it got it got every one of them fucking done as a result of that gig. So that has been my worst gig ever. A nice little callback / tie-in to the previous season. That has been worst. See,
that's what we're talking about on the Tom and Gerry podcast. When we say our worst gig ever, we're not talking about we went up on stage and told a few jokes and people didn't laugh. No, we're talking
possibly getting killed.
We're talking getting killed. Some shit that may require us to live the rest of our lives under an alias.
Who would believe it? Tom and Gerry are our actual names. There you go. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So everybody's favorite segment. You want to hear about the shitty bits? There you go. If you've been to any of these terrible fucking gigs and you've seen us, fucking feel free to not get in touch.
Maybe not this one.
I told you it was a doozy. I've got a couple of fucking juicy ones for you, man, and I'm delighted we brought this segment back.
Christ. Should have fucking saved that one to the Halloween episode, Tom. I'm over here just like, what the fuck happened?
Do you know what? 90% of the reason why I wanted to start this podcast back up again, which it was just so I could tell you these handful of stories that I've got for this season, Brian. Because when I'm walking off those stages and I'm going, why the fuck do I do this to myself? I'm going, McBride will enjoy this at the very least. So we'll move on into our final but newest segment.
Our newest segment, Tom.
Out of the brainchild of Gerry McBride. I took last week's one. As we get older,
I'll take this week's one.
We rack up some mileage. As Bear Grylls would say, you should go through life fucking... You shouldn't look like you've come through life perfect. You should look like you've fucking fallen down a hill basically busted head a few times and some scratches and scars and all the rest of it. This is a segment, Gerry, that we like to call...
What ails ya?
It's nothing. Barely a flesh wound. On your feet, old man.
What ails ya?
Because I gotta tell you, Tom, like, you know, us fine upstanding gentlemen, for those of us that are new to the podcast, you may know, or you may have picked up, certainly the more astute of you may have noticed that we're not from the city, don't you know? We're culture born and bred. It's been the theme of many things along the way. And one thing you gotta know about a culture, Tom, is we're like the rednecks in America with the guns. We don't call 911.
Nope, we fucking don't. If you can't sort it yourself, then you're doing something wrong.
It's if you can't patch it up yourself, even with simple things. It's not like, you know, you have your leg broken and a bone sticking out of it and you throw a bit of duct tape around it and walk on. But every now and then, you might have a medical malady that you say to yourself, I can handle that.
Yeah. Jesus, yeah.
And you may be listening to this podcast going, hang on a second, Gerry. I've never had a medical malady that I've said to myself, I can handle that myself. Well, you're probably a normal, well-balanced person. And I congratulate you for being so, Tom. But you and me, there's a couple of jobs, like, you know, that if something's wrong with you, you might look at it like you'd look at shelves and going like, I can fucking hang that.
Listen, Gerry, we didn't grow up calling a man. You fucking handled it yourself because there wasn't a man to call. I've talked to many people about this on my own podcast, and everybody who grew up in the city, everybody knew their role, which is the right thing to do in a densely urbanized place. Everybody knows their role. You have the man that turns up to do the man's job, and 9 times out, now you made a living out of selling shit to people that had no fucking business buying a lot of the shit for the longest time in your previous life in the DIY world.
In the DIY world,
and you shamelessly sold them things that they had, like, you sold pensioners' Karcher fucking power washers that they were never going to fucking use.
They were going to lift them off their feet.
You had fucking communion girls coming in with their money buying bench vices with no fucking rhyme or reason.
I was like, kid, if you want a bench vice, you fucking knock yourself out. So don't get me wrong, like, but here's the thing, Tom. Anytime it's a job that you think you take on, it's always something that seems simple.
Oh yeah.
And then then it's only then that it reveals itself to be a much fucking bigger thing. So basically, here's what ailed me at the time, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
What ailed me was I had a sty
in the eye.
Yes, indeed. And I don't know to this day, Tom, whether or not you can get a sty anywhere else. Is this sty specifically to an eye?
I've never had a sty. I've had several shit in my eye. I've had operations on my eye, believe it or not, but I've never had a sty in my eye. For some reason, lads, the odd teacher or a lad would turn up in school and he looked like he was after being stung by a fucking bee or something, or after eating peanuts when he shouldn't have. I don't know what a fucking sty is, and we are not in the business of Googling shit here on this podcast either. So, Gerry,
a sty is, for all intents and purposes, and I tell you, I've had several sties throughout my life. I'm prone to them, don't you know? And I haven't had one since I had this one, or if I have, I've just been smart enough because this experience fucking wised me up to what to do and what not to do with a sty, don't you know? Listener discretion advised in this one here as well. So a sty is a pimple on your lower eyelid. That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. It's a pimple. It's a spot.
Right.
That's what it is. Okay. And I asked, there was a sty bespoke to your eye, or could you get a sty on the ring of your arse, or could you get a sty between your toes? I don't think so. I think, you know.
Why is it called a sty then? Is it because it's close to your eye?
And I have a better one for you, Tom. I don't know if sty is a medical term for it, or if it's just like another fucking culty shit that
oh, right, yeah. He's after getting an old fucking Fagiri on his nose there. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, it took me up until I was like, you know, well in my 30s before I realised that whooping cough was actually the name of it. It wasn't just some shit we called it.
Oh, is it?
Because it sounds made up. That's the fucking name of it.
It's
right there in the medical dictionary under W. Whooping cough.
I never had heard of whooping cough until we had to go to the hospital with the little fella one night. It was just his temperature was up. We didn't know what it was. We were brand new parents.
And he had the whooping cough.
Yourself. No, he didn't have it. He didn't have it. But this girl came down the corridor that I can only describe sounded like if you watched Silent Hill and something showed up in fucking that movie or in fucking Resident Evil, sounded like this girl. You'd be fucking running. You'd be gone. The volume and bass that came off this fucking girl. And I went, listen, that's a fucking 4-month-old baby. I don't know what's coming down there. Is it infectious? What is it? She goes, oh, that's whooping cough. I went,
what's it really?
Can we, honestly, it sounds like the fucking something horrendous.
Don't dumb it down for me. Give it this medical term. Oh, the medical term is whooping cough.
And she called it a whooping cough. So I was like,
it's a whooping cough, yeah.
Makes it sound way less. It is way scarier than that. Anyway.
I don't know if a sty is really called a fucking stigmatical, optical, some bullshit or whatever, but a sty is, for all intents and purposes, a pimple in your eye, and I believe it's like a blocked tear duct, I guess, I think.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But it's not even because it's not.
It would show
it's
up
not
in
like,
your eye. Because
it's not like it could happen anywhere along your eye, and whatever it is, it's something around the thing of your eye, the lid of your eye. It gets blocked with dirt and shit and things like this. You know what you do to prevent it, Tom? Wash your fucking eyes more often than I was doing at the time.
What were you doing?
I was working in a hardware shop getting eyes full of fucking cement and shit like that all day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
And not properly washing your eyes. One of these wee bios gets blocked, all right? And it forms itself in like a little pimple, like you can feel it when you feel the soft bit of your eye.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what did your mother always tell you, Tom? Leave that thing alone.
Oh, yeah, don't be picking at it, yeah.
Don't be picking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good advice. All right.
Is this one for the cowl tea bag? I don't know.
That is the treatment of a sty. The treatment of a sty is to put a cold tea bag onto your eye, and not even a cold tea bag, like a half warm tea bag.
All right, because I remember the cats used to get out crusty eyes every so often at home,
and you put it on,
and you get an old cowl tea bag and clean the crust, and the cat would be as right as rain the following fucking day.
Yeah. This would be like you hold the cowl tea bag to your eye, and the tannins in the tea might draw out the back.
Really? Okay, I just thought it was just its handiness and its size. That's all I thought.
No, there's something in it. There's something in the tea. Like a peppermint tea bag will do fuck all for you, Tom.
Okay. Oh fuck! Right.
So and actually, that actually reminds me. That actually reminds me because I was living in Dublin at the time and I was working in RD, so it's like an hour drive in the morning. And I had the stay in my eye, and I was like,
the only man, by the way, who ever commuted in the opposite fucking direction.
Contraflow, yeah, pure awkward.
The road was all yours, though. That's the only thing.
I could never do anything that wasn't just pure fucking ignorance. So I said, all right, like I gotta stay in my eye, and I gotta drive to RD, and I can't drive to RD holding a tea bag to my face, can I, Tom?
You can give it a go. You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. But what you certainly can't do, Tom. What you certainly can't do is drive to RD with a teabag sellotaped to your face.
Yes, Captain fucking Hook himself. Captain fucking Barry's tea.
So for 3 fucking mornings, the first week it came on me, I had a fucking Tetley teabag on me eye with sellotape around me head, right?
Of
like
all fucking cheese
in a fish called Wanda.
Shit. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I'm here driving fucking one eye down. This is 10 years ago before I had sense. Please don't do anything you hear on this podcast. I swear to God. Except if other than like, share, and subscribe, don't do anything we tell you to do on this podcast. So, after a couple of days, that didn't do it. And I can still feel this wee lump under my eyes. Surprise.
You drove 3 fucking days with fucking Captain fucking Hook.
I drove a sum total of 180 miles with a tea bag stuck to my face, right? What was I going to say when the guard stopped me, Tom? Because I don't fucking know. And by the time you
who the fuck is throwing them tea bags? It just came in the window.
Came out of nowhere, guard. And like, you know, by the third day, right, when you take the tea bag off and you'd wash and rinse your face, but like round your eye would be still brown. It was like a smoker with the yellow fingers, do you know, that sort of way. And I was like, I can't fucking go on with this, but this thing can't stay in my eye because like it's annoying more than it's sore. You know, it's not like it's, oh, my eye's so sore. It's just like it's there. You can feel it. You want rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So you go to a doctor and he'll excise it for you, right? No.
Oh.
No, I wasn't going to do that, Tom. That's what you should do. What I did was I squeezed the absolute ever-living fuck out of it.
Of course you did. Yeah, of course you did.
I caught it and I squeezed it. And, you know, it's one of these things, it's like a pimple when you're younger and you feel like, I feel that's going to go.
Yeah.
But it never goes.
Of course, it's in so deep, it's on your bone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought that the remedy for that, Tom, would be to squeeze it more.
Of course.
Just squeeze it harder.
Yeah. I'm seeing nothing but green lights here, Gerry.
It has to go somewhere, right? Right? But I was squeezing this so fucking hard, I thought it was going to come out my belly button, right? But here's all all you're going to do. And if you watch Dr. Pimple Popper on TLC, she'll tell you this. And if you don't watch it, you should. It's good crack. If you squeeze a spot like that and it doesn't like pop like you'd expect a zit to pop as a child, all it'll do is it'll burst underneath the skin and all the badness will go underneath the skin and create like a more of an infection. And I fucking lived with this thing for like 6 weeks before like the missus turned around to me and said, "You've got to fucking go to the doctor about that. You just have to go to the doctor about that." She said it in that tone. And it wasn't funny. It wasn't like, "You're about to go to the doctor about that." She goes, "You have to fucking..." Like, I did this for so long, Tom, I changed jobs between it.
I normally measure things by cars because I go through so many cars.
You changed jobs. I went from one job to the next because I remember by the time the doctor said, "You got it, you got to get that out of your eye," and he gave me a booking to go into the Mater Hospital to get it excised out of it, and that happened the first week I started in my new job.
Gerry, you got fired for your job for terrifying customers.
For being gross.
For being absolutely fucking gross behind the counter.
Being a horrible person. And the whole thing...
and like, stinking of fucking Tetley tea. You're like, what's wrong with him?
What is up with McBride over there? I don't know, man. He's just
Guzzy-eyed McBride. You'll be like your man from fucking Harry Potter, when Brendan Gleeson's character from Harry Potter, just with the googly eye, just fucking following you around the room.
Oh, the story's not over yet, Tom, and it's heading that direction, pal. The whole thing didn't feel big. It was about the size of like an unpopped popcorn kernel, right?
Which is like a fucking bowling ball when it's under your skin.
When it's under your eye. Yeah. I mean, like, everything's bad when it's in your eye.
Yeah. There's almost...
You know, if this had been like...
There's nothing good that can be in your eye. Nothing.
If it was behind your ear, it'd be a different story, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor. He says, "You got to get that shit out of your eye."
Your wife, your missus is right. You got to
tell you, Yeah. What's your name? Gerry? All right, Gerry. You got to get that shit out of your eye. So on like the third day that I was starting in my new job, I had to, and it's awkward, always awkward in a new job to ask for a day off. I goes, "Listen, I here's what I told him, Tom."
What's less embarrassing than saying I have an unattended fucking eye block duct?
Here's what I told him, Tom, in all seriousness, and I believe this going in, right?
Yeah.
I said to them, "I have to get a thing out of my eye. I won't be in tomorrow morning."
Okay, yeah, no, that's...
confident that this was going to be grand and I'd be chiming in for work around 11:15.
Yeah, because you don't want to take the piss, but at the same time you were thinking, I'll grab an old coffee as well and take my fucking time. Yeah.
I'll go in, I'll have an operation on my eye, and I'll just peace out and get a Starbucks and like fucking rock up to work at 11:30. Yeah. No muss, no fuss. Everybody along the way has told me that this isn't a big procedure. So
I'm still not even seeing a big procedure about this. Barry, you've got a gross eye.
So I goes into the Mater, and I rocked up as a fucking an eye, and she was funny. I goes, "I'm here with a stay on my eye," and she goes, "Oh, which eye?" Because you could fucking see which eye. It was it was the one that was popping.
As you're turning into fucking District 9 fucking prawns, your eye is just fucking starting to grow out,
It's just popping out the side of my head. So she took me in and she laid me down, right? And it wasn't one of these things where you have to put on, like, you kept your clothes on.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you had to get into the gown and all this kind of thing. It was just like a local procedure. She goes, "All right, lie down there." And she goes, "Okay, I'm going to give you an injection to numb the area, and it's going to feel like a beast thing." And fuck me, she was not wrong, Tom, right?
How big was this bee?
This was like a fucking murder hornet, right? And she had like a little do you know the little kidney bowl? You know the little silver kidney bowl that's all sort of bits and pieces. And she had all sorts of little I want to call them hokers in there. So various hoking things, right? So like what a dentist would hoke in your mouth with, right?
Yeah.
all little silver stainless steel implements. And she lies me down and she goes, okay, you're going to feel a bee sting here now. And I have this thing. I've only been in for a couple of medical procedures in my whole life, but I get very fucking eerily calm when I'm laid down in a doctor's office. When you lie down and the lights are down on you and someone's working over you, and it's very sort of calming. And maybe it's just like something psychological in me.
You've made peace with death at that stage, because
you've made peace with something, and everything in you sort of shuts down. So I started to feel like I was going to fall asleep. Okay, and I'm not the kind of person that'll just fall asleep in the middle of the day, but I felt myself drifting.
Now, she did inject your head with anaesthetic, Gerry. I'm just going to point.
Oh, this was before this happened.
All right, okay.
No, because that's what I was about to say, Tom. When the fucking needle went in, that's when I woke up. And like, it was one of these ones, Tom, that I just want to say, like, me toes. If it was a movie, all you would see was me toes just curling up and shaking a little fuck like this. I was, fuck me, that was sore. She goes, that's all right, but you won't feel anything else. And fuck me, Tom, was she not lying? Absolutely lying. She pulled down the eyelid of my eye and went hoking into it. Right? And like, you know, like, I wasn't saying she was being rough, but it was like, you know, she was going at it like a young lad fingering for the first time, you know.
Agricultural.
Just not knowing what he was doing, but we'll fucking just jab fingers at it there. Have a hoke around and we'll find something here, sure, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, she cut it and she fucking rolled cotton wool in around it. And then I remember she said, okay, we just have to seal that up. And I was like, you're probably stitching it. She goes, no, we're not stitching it. And all I heard was like, sss. And it was like, she cauterized it. And like, I'm here, like,
you can smell your own skin.
Resident Evil with the eye popping out of my head, and you could smell the inside of your eye burning. And I'm like, fuck me all day. And she put a bandage on me with a patch. And she goes, now will you be all right? You've got a patch on your eye, so your depth perception might be a wee bit off. I was like, Mrs., I'm used to driving to RD with a tea bag.
They call me Cyclops McBride.
Don't you worry one bit about it, my dear. And it was that when she told me to get up and walk and fuck off, and I was like, is that it? And she was like, yeah, you know, and she wasn't smart about it, but she was like, yeah, fuck off, I got more to do, you know?
Yeah.
I thought there'd be more ceremony, but you just poked around in my eye for like 5 minutes. She goes, no, you're all right, on you go. And I goes, okay. And it was only when I stood up, I goes, I'm not going to work today. Because I physically fucking can't go to work today. I know it was like a procedure and it took like 5 minutes and it's only 10:15 in the day, and galls me to miss a fucking half day's wages, Tom.
Sickening.
Absolutely galls me. But I physically cannot drive my ass out to the far side of Dublin here now and do a day's work. I'm going to go home and go to sleep. And in the back of your mind, you're saying, like, I'm going to go home and play PlayStation. Yeah, I'm going to have it. Ferris Bueller's Day off. I'm going to go home. But no, I went home and I just passed out and I slept for 18 straight hours. And I'd only just woke up. You know? And I went into work the next day. And I had the eye covered. And I'm meeting these people for the first time because I'd only met them like, 2-3 days ago. And there was still lads from the yard that I hadn't met yet. Yeah. I was like, how are you keeping? And they're like, oh yeah, how's this fucking...
Oh fuck, if ever a fellow was going to pick up a nickname, you're only 3 days in and you're showing up with one eye.
I'm showing up with one eye. And I remember the first time I met one guy, and he was a good kid. He was one of the lads from the yard. He's a grown-ass man now. And he's anytime I'm out there now, I say hello to him. And he's a good guy. I like him very much. But the first time he met me, I was like, cleaning my gross eye in the toilets of the hardware shop, which you can imagine what that fucking place looks like. And I'm just like with the patch off, dabbing a bit of cotton wool on it under the tap. And
it sounds to me like that. You remember Terminator 1?
That's exactly what it was when he's cutting up his eye.
And fucking
And I goes, oh, how are you keeping him, Gerry? I'm only after starting there. And he goes, what the fuck's wrong with your eye, pal? I goes, a wee operation with it. I goes, how does it look there to you? And he goes, I'm not going to lie to you, Gerry. It looks sore. I was all right, come here. I bet they'll just fucking I bet they'll just dab it with a towel. And it was one of those rolly towels, you know, the rolly towels?
Yeah. It's covered in piss. Yeah.
And I rolled it down like 2 or 3 to get it what I thought would be a clean bit. And he goes to me, what was wrong with your eye? I goes, oh, it was infected and I had to get a wee procedure done on it. He goes, that's going to get reinfected really fucking quick.
Yeah.
And I go, shit, you're not wrong, pal. And I put the bit of tape around it and I went on about my business. And that should be the end of the story. Eye heals up, okay? Because I got to tell you what it looked like, Tom. When you took the patch off it, it looked like fucking Quato from Total Recall.
Quaid, look, open your mind, Quaid. Open your mind.
And it was just like, even though she was just hoking here, like the whole around it was black. It looked like a panda, like a huge black eye. And the underneath of it had like a little, even though she cauterized and burnt it on the inside, it had formed, the scar of it had formed like a little tit on the bottom of it.
Oh,
it looked
lovely.
It looked like a belly button. It was horrible, gross, right? And most people, if they had such a thing on their face, would cancel the stand-up gig they had that night.
Oh, you hungry fucker. You hungry
And in my
fucker.
mind, I'm here thinking, well, fuck me. I'm after missing a day's wages at work. I can't be down twice. And the missus said, are you going to that gig with that in your eye? I goes, yeah, sure. Like, what odds will it make? And I went in and I did the gig, and all the lads would be there, and they're like, how you keeping, Jerry? I'm like, how you doing, guys? And they're like, what the fuck? I goes, what? At the pad off issue, I had been told, like, keep the pad on it for a day and then take it off and let the air to it, or whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, yeah,
that
so
comedy club air to heal up an eye.
Yeah, I goes, so like, am I first, second to go? You're on second. Are you sure you want to go on? I goes, yeah, I'm fine. What odds? I'm just going to go up and do my material. It will win them over, and they won't even notice the fucking tit coming out the side of my head. And I went up and I was like, hey, everybody, how's everybody doing? I'm Gerry McBride. I'm from a little bit further north than here. I'm from up in Monaghan, and I started blasting into material. I got no laughs for the couple of them. This is why this one didn't make worst gigs ever, because it's just like, it's just nobody's laughing. That's not anything to do it. I'm fucking cutting wise doing material. I'm like, God damn it, this stuff normally does okay. These people are giving me nothing.
You're learning something here, Gerry. I can tell you. You're learning something here.
There's a denominator here somewhere. There's something that I can trace that back to. And I stopped about 7 minutes in, and I goes, I was wondering what happened to the eye. And they leaned in, right? Guy middle table goes, that's exactly what we're wondering, right? And he got a big, huge laugh, right?
Yeah.
I goes, shit. I had a procedure done on my eye yesterday, and it hasn't healed. And then someone else down the back goes, why are you here? I goes, well, I'm here to tell jokes. And someone else across the table goes like, you should be at home with a patch on that. I was like, no, you're wrong. She told me to keep a patch in it for a day, and then don't cover it up, because you should let the air to it, it'll heal. And another person shouts up, it's not healing. I goes, it is healing. And one of them goes, it's weeping. And I goes, I take offense to that. It's not weeping. I'm dabbing it with water because it's sore. Stop being a comedy gig and started being a back and forth with me and the audience as to whether or not I should be stood up in a pub in Rush trying to tell jokes about Diesel, or whether or not I should go home and take antibiotics.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I mean, that you nearly tied it in 2 and 1 for that one.
That is what ailed me on that particular day.
Well, I'm delighted to say Gerry McBride, for all the audio listeners, does actually have, well, he's 2 things that look like eyes anyway. I can only verify that they definitely look like normal holes in his face. Interesting that I've never had a sty, because I've quite pokey little eyes myself, and I've been around a lot of dusty material. I don't think I've ever gotten a sty. Maybe.
Well, maybe
I
Tom,
never went to that fucking standard.
You had it sty, and you fucking knew better than to catch it within a pair of pliers and squeeze the fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I won't judge you for that at all. I won't judge you for that.
We've got a few more. What ails you coming up, Tom? We could have fucking stranger ones than that, don't you?
There is. I have a couple of fucking weird ones for you coming down the line. Well, that has been episode 2, everybody. Thank you very, very much.
Tell the people what we'd like them to do, Tom.
If you wouldn't mind, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, everybody, and this is purely for the benefit of new people listening. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please give it the 5 stars. What it does is it doesn't really boost our ego or tell us anything we need to know about podcasting, because we know practically nothing about podcasting. What it does is the more 5 stars, the more reviews, the more visible it becomes to the public, and the more people that listen, and the more inspired we will be to make more shows. But what we would like you to do is obviously give us the 5 stars. Anything less than that, hang on to them. We don't need anything fucking less than that. Like I said, we're not going to learn anything from somebody going, I'm going to give you 2.5 because I just felt. No, nobody's going to learn from that. 5 stars.
I have feedback. Now you're all right.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. We'd like a review, because at the end of this season, we're going to pick the best review from the whole lot, whether it be comedic, dark, whatever you want to write. Make it positive and write something on there. To give an example, I once had one that said, great podcast. Hey, for sale. I've had a bunch more interesting ones from that, but give us your best And
That one sticks in the mind.
It sticks in the mind. That's where you need to be going. Whatever you want to say, feel free. Follow the show on Twitter, of course, Gerry, which Gerry will be manning that because he knows more about Twitter than I do.
Yes, indeed. You can follow the Twitter account, which has been there since day one of the Tom and Gerry podcast. It's called @TomandGerry_Show on Twitter. Gerry with a G, and it's a very I've much love for that Twitter account, Tom. Not just because it brings us closer to our Tom and Gerry fans, but also because I dip into it every now and then to creep on accounts that have me blocked.
Ah, right. Very well done. Yeah, I didn't think anybody would block Gerry McBride. But anyway, there you have it.
Fucking several have, Tom. I've probably given the game away now at this stage, and they'll block that account, and I won't be able to snoop on them. But I only say it now because I've come to the point in my life where I no longer fucking care.
There you go. There you go. So if you want to contribute or chat about any of the things that we talked about today, know that we are just messing. We're just messing. We're just having the crack. But if you have taken insult with it, fucking keep it. You can keep the insult because we frankly don't care. But if you want to join in the crack, feel free to talk to us about anything. What ails you? What gross shit happened to you down the line?
Have you done any terrible stand-up gigs? Let us know.
Have you any fucking yards to give out about? How do you feel about fancy new drinks on the way out? And have you ever been to any weird fucking stuff before where somebody has gone fucking AWOL or something has gone sideways?
Oh, actually, you know what, Tom?
Somebody called a fucking murder gig. A murder in the middle of your fucking gig.
That's actually delicious, Tom. I haven't even thought about that. Yeah, you don't want to tell us about horrible stand-up gigs you've done. Tell us about horrible stand-up gigs you've been to, because the listeners here
I can promise you,
likely never. No comedians listen to us.
No comedians are going to listen to other comedians' podcasts. Not a chance. Not a chance.
They wouldn't give us the listen. They wouldn't give us the satisfaction. I wouldn't give it to them.
I'd be nearly annoyed if I found out that other stand-ups were actually listening to this.
If a stand-up came to me and said, I listened to your podcast, I wouldn't know what to do with that information.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it'd be like getting fucking hugged back in the 80s. You just wouldn't know what to do at that moment.
Yeah, what's going on here now?
So you know the crack. If you're not following Gerry McBride, follow him. He's @Gerry McBride, and you're on @Gerry McBride over on Instagram as well as Twitter as well.
It'll get me, yeah. If you see somebody that looks vaguely like me, that'll be me.
Exactly, and Tom O'Mahony Comedy will find me anywhere. But make sure and follow the podcast on Twitter. It will be there, so you'll see. We'll put up the random subjects and things like that we've done throughout our show, so you can contribute. Feel free. But other than that, rate and review. Till we see you again, Gerry McBride.
Take care, Tom.
You mind yourself, brother. Good luck.